This is a global university of choice, a university of what ifs and what next, an ambitious university of anything is possible, an outstanding university of teaching excellence and applied research, of aiming high and raising the bar. This is a university of big ideas, an applied university of today and for tomorrow, a university of making a difference and making your mark. This is the University of Derby. What will you make of it?
Hello and welcome to the University of Derby's Open Day live stream. We're here to welcome those of you who can't join the thousands of guests we're expecting to arrive at our Derby campus today.
Over the next hour or so, we'll be taking you around our sites, as well as introducing you to our students and staff from across the university, who will help explain more about our courses, campus facilities, accommodation, and some of the reasons why we believe you'll love Derby.
We'll explore what makes Derby such a fantastic place to live and study, and we'll focus on several of our subject areas with some of the people that teach and study them. And we'll share some of the fantastic news Derby has had recently that recognises how impactful our university is.
If you're watching live and have got a question for us, send it in for our Q&A session at the end. First though, here's a quick introduction as to what you've got to look forward to as a University of Derby student.
Welcome back to our Open Day live stream here at the University of Derby. Our first guest today is someone whose role helped shape the student experience here at Derby, Professor Keith McLay, Provost for Learning and Teaching. Hi Keith.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So what are the sorts of things that students should be looking at when they're choosing a university?
Well, it's really important that the students come and visit the university that they're seeking to join, have a look around the facilities, but most importantly, inform themselves about the quality of the learning and teaching and the degree programmes for which they wish to join. So, for example, here at the University of Derby, in the government's recent assessment of learning and teaching across all universities nationwide, the University of Derby was rated gold for its learning and teaching and student experience. And that's the sort of marker that the students should be thinking about. Equally, there are a number of league tables which assess the performance of universities. So, for example, the University of Derby is in the top 20 for student experience and teaching quality in recent league tables published by the Complete University Guide and the Times and Sunday Times. It's these markers, alongside the visit to campus and the discussions with the academics, that students should be using to inform their decision to come to university.
And we talk a lot about the University of Derby being an applied university. What does this mean and how does it benefit our students?
Well, that's right, Alice. I mean, the University of Derby is, as you say, an applied university of today and for tomorrow, and it's a university which prides itself in being engaged with industry. And what that means in reality is that each curricula, as part of the degree programmes, will have opportunities for students to engage with industries, to undertake placements, whether that's a shorter term placement or a longer term whole year placement. It's the opportunity also for the students to be engaged in what we call live briefs. So industries will offer up problems that they require solutions to, and our students will work on that as part of their assessment process. And when we talk about industry, we're not just talking about what might be thought of as the old manufacturing industries. It's a very wide definition. We're talking about the public service industries, we're talking about education, we're talking about businesses, small businesses, medium businesses, but also the global businesses such as Rolls-Royce, for which the University of Derby works at the Nuclear Skills Academy, where we have 200 apprentices places each year working with Rolls-Royce in the nuclear skills industry.
It's fantastic. And what about research? Is Derby a research university, and what opportunities are there for undergrad students to get involved in that?
Absolutely. The University of Derby is heavily engaged in research. It has to be. You can't be a university without having the research side of the coin and the learning and teaching side of the coin, because the research, the cutting edge knowledge, drives the degree programs. So here at the University of Derby, we have 6 research themes, academic themes, for which we have specialisms in. A good example of that is in our coral reef and eco diversity research, in which you may have seen, or visitors may have seen, our turtle that is quite prominent, part of our brand, and that's because our scientists are working and regrowing coral reefs across the world, and that's really important because we're only one of a very few number of universities that are engaged in that type of research. In terms of plugging our students into our research, there are a number of different ways. As I've said, the research drives the curricula, so they are accessing it through that. But most importantly, annually we run what's called our Undergraduate Research Scholarship Scheme, in which undergraduate students can apply to become part of a live research project that our academics are running, and they get funded to undertake that research and be part of the project over a period of time, culminating in an output for that research, which they can obviously put on their CV, and they will present at a conference once that research project ends. So there's a number of points of connection, routes of entry for our students into the research process, which all our academics are undertaking.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I've seen around the place we have TEF Gold all over now. What does this mean? Why is it important? And what other recognitions the university had this year?
Well, as I mentioned at the outset, the government ran an assessment exercise of teaching and learning at universities just these past few months. Now, there were 2 categories to that assessment of the learning and teaching at universities. One was the student experience, so that is the experience that the students get while at university, on their degree programs, and just the general academic experience that they have. The second element is student outcomes, and that is how well the university prepares them to get a graduate job once they leave the university. It's how well that they progress in year, and it's how successful they are in their degree classification. So that assessment exercise ran over the past few months, and I'm delighted that the University of Derby was rated TEF Gold, which is the highest accolade for that assessment of the learning and teaching at university. We're only one of 2 universities in the East Midlands to achieve TEF Gold, and we're within the top 20% in the country. So it's a real marker of the quality of the education here at the University of Derby. Similarly, we've had successes in the league tables. I mentioned before, we're top 20% for teaching quality and the student experience, and in 2 of the league tables, the Complete University Guide and the Times and the Sunday Times. So the University of Derby, on each of these markers of performance, is really well up there and performing very strongly, and in particular the TEF Gold is such an important marker of the quality of the education here at the University of Derby.
That's fantastic, Keith. Thank you very much. Now, I know you're a busy man, you've got some welcome talks to do, so
Yes.
I'll let you go now, but
Thank you very
for
much.
taking
My
the time to
pleasure.
talk to
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you. Thanks. Now, it's not just life on campus you've got to look forward to as a student. There's plenty of things you can get up to in the city, whatever your interests are. Here's a look at student life in Derby and Derbyshire. And afterwards, we'll be joined in the studio by the president of our Union of Students to tell us more.
Welcome back to the University of Derby Open Day livestream. So, student life at the university is supported by your Union of Students, and we're now joined by Holly Lloyd, Vice President, Education, for this year to tell us more. Holly, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you.
Good. So, Holly, just to start off with, what does your role make happen at the university?
Okay, so I am Vice President Education, so I see all the education and academic. I also look at student voice, and I also enable that student voice to go higher and, yeah, promote the students that way.
Nice, fantastic. And just kind of zooming back out from that, just for anyone who doesn't really know, how broad is the Union of Students, and where may students encounter it?
Perfect. So not many students realise that when they enrol at university, they also get put into our union and they have access to everything that we offer. So we offer stuff from anything to academic representation, to student voice, and all the way through to those sports societies and student-led services.
Okay.
And we offer a lot of stuff outside of the university, so we hold events and fairs as well.
Excellent. So you've kind of mentioned that already, you kind of touched upon it. So societies can mean something that students can get involved with outside of the university, for example. So what kind of things are available for students to get involved in?
So our societies offer that space where individuals can get together, learn new hobbies, continue their hobbies that they currently have. Mm-hmm. We offer them spaces where they can meet up continuously and just get out of your comfort zone, get out there, meet new people and get involved.
Excellent. So, of course, we have a lot of sports teams within the union. Is this for just competitive types, or is this more accessible?
No, it's accessible to everybody of every ability. You don't have to be an athlete to join our sports. Talking personally myself, I joined women's rugby, and that was just as a social member, and I just got that social element. But yeah, we do offer it everybody, and we encourage them. We also have our whole sports and our just play, which are still competitive but don't have the book sport element of every Wednesday. It's more of a chilled and relaxed competitive side to sport.
Nice, very nice. And it's maybe quite obvious, but what would you say you learned joining a society yourself?
I learned to put myself out there. It's obviously nerve-wracking being at university as it is, and then joining something that you've not necessarily done outside of university. Mm-hmm. But it's also a great way to introduce yourself to new people, meet wonderful friends, learn new skills, hobbies, and it is a great way to boost that university experience.
I bet, nice. And would you describe Derby as a university city?
I would definitely, yeah. We've obviously got our campuses dotted in and around our city centre, as well as our halls are very centre-based. We obviously have great transport from the university all in and around Derby city. Yeah, I would. It's a great place. We've obviously got a nice nightlife as well. Mm-hmm. It's a good little bonus for the week and on weekends. So, yeah.
Nice. There's a lot of things to do.
Oh, plenty of stuff to do. Yeah, definitely.
Very nice. And for all of these functions, from academic representation and student voice to sports societies, how do students get involved when they're there? Yeah,
so obviously, like previously mentioned, every student can access anything that the union offers. We also hold throughout the years our freshers fairs during the beginning in September, and then we do them again in the new year, where we have all of our sports societies, student-led services there just to offer what they can provide students. We also do a lot of give it a goes. So they're just little training sessions which students can come along to and just have a bit of a taster, see if they want to try anything new. The same with our societies. They hold events that anybody and everybody can come and get involved in.
Fantastic. Okay, Holly, those are all the questions I have for you. Perfect. So thank you so much for your time. You explained everything perfectly. We've now got a video for you now, and then we'll be right back.
We're back, and I've now got Russ Lewis with me. Russ is our Head of Student Engagement. Hello, Russ. You've got a long history with us. You were one of our students. What's changed in all that time?
I was once a student, a very long time ago now though. Some things probably haven't changed. I think the way in which the university treats every student as an individual, that was the case when I was a student and remains to be the case now. But I think over that time what has changed is the way in which we really listen to our students as a collective, making sure that we're taking into account all of the things that they're looking for from their university experience. It's a very important time in their lives, and we are really interested in making sure that we give them the best possible experience whilst they're with us.
Now, you're involved behind the scenes in leading on the student experience. What is it that you do to improve this?
Yes, I've been doing that for about 11 years now, and it has continued to be a great job. I love it. I'm one of those people that loves my job because I get to work with students. The way in which we do this primarily is through our student enhancement activities. So we're making sure that we're listening to our students. Every year, there's different types of students that are coming to Derby, and we want to make sure that our offer to them is reflective of what they're looking for from their experience when they're here. So it's a lot of talking to students, a lot of active listening, and making sure that when I'm going to lobby for different things across the university, that it's with that student interest at the heart of what I'm trying to do.
And for any students who might need support while they're at university, how do we do that?
Sure. So probably right from the start, one of the biggest things that we make sure we do is offer a real personalised welcome to those students. That they're coming in, we have a suite of what we call welcome heroes, and these are current students that we then make sure are front and centre of all our university sites, so that any student coming on day one doesn't need to feel worried about where's the room I need to go to, or am I going to get lost? We've got people there ready to help and support them. We have what we call a personal academic tutoring system, and these are academic members of staff that really guide students through their academic journey, looking beyond just the assessments that they're doing and making sure they're looking at the totality of their experience academically to really guide them for what it is they're looking to do in their future careers.
And what can students expect from Derby that they might not necessarily get elsewhere?
I think certainly, as I mentioned, a real personalised welcome. I think we really pride ourselves on that. Every student walking through those doors is greeted very warmly to make sure that they feel safe and secure whilst they're with us. And that continues all the way through and is probably mirrored right at the end of their time at the graduation experience. So from start to finish, the students are really treated as individuals, and we make sure we look after them in that entire time.
And finally, do you have any advice that you'd give to people who are starting to think about choosing a university now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really important decision to pick a university. I think what should be at the heart of that is the passion for the subject that you're studying. And I'm really confident that if that subject is at Derby, that you would have a brilliant time. So I think just take the time to really kind of look at what that passion might be for you, and please come to Derby.
Yeah, thank you very much, Russ. That's been really good. Thanks. Let's see a bit more now about the University of Derby. Applying to university can be a tricky situation to navigate, and that's why I'm thrilled to be joined by Helen Mercado, University of Derby's Head of Admissions. Hi, Helen.
Hi.
So for anyone who hasn't applied yet, do they still have options for a potential September start?
Yeah, absolutely. We will have the vast majority of our course provision for undergraduate will still be open at the moment. There might be one or two of the selecting courses that might still be closed. But absolutely, the best place to check is on the website or on UCAS directly, and there it'll tell you which courses are open, which are closed. But there's definitely lots of time still to apply, and there's clearing as well coming up in July, which opens in July.
So what is clearing for anybody who doesn't know, who's not been through this process yet? What does it mean?
Yeah, so clearing is basically just a way of students post-result to look at what their options are. So if somebody hasn't achieved the grades that they wanted to achieve and they haven't actually got into their first or second choice university potentially, it's an opportunity for them to contact universities and find out if they can actually get into those universities. So some people will get better grades than they wanted to, some people won't get the grades, and it's just a mechanism for people to get offers and find a different route into university. Yeah.
And for those students who've got grades already from a previous year, are they in a different situation to those that are still waiting for their results to come out?
Absolutely. So we can make them an offer straight away. So if they just get in contact and say make their application, then we would give them an offer, and it would be an unconditional offer rather than a conditional offer, which the people that were waiting for their results would get.
And what if there's people who've not got their results yet but want to wait until they've got their grades to make that application? Is that still doable?
Yeah, absolutely. And people can apply directly into clearing, and a lot of people do nowadays. So they want to wait until they've got those qualifications and then see what their options are. I would say if they are highly selecting courses, I would actually recommend that they make that application as soon as they can, whether they've got their grades or not. To give themselves the best chance of getting onto those courses. But for the most part, say a lot of provision is open during clearing.
And so for those students who don't have their results but they have that offer ready to go, is there anything they should be doing at this stage in the process?
They need to concentrate on their exams if they haven't already taken them. So I would definitely be concentrating on that side of things, putting their absolute best into that so they get the best results they can. So when it does come to results day or getting their results, they've got the best chance of getting in the place that they want.
And if prospective students have any questions about any of this, where do they go to for help?
They come to my team, the admissions team. So we have an inquiries team that are always there, happy to help by phone or email.
And I know we've talked, to you about this before, but support needs do matter for a proportion of our students. Yeah. When should a student with any known wellbeing needs make us aware of that? So
as early as possible in the process, so that we can actually make sure that it's picked up by the wellbeing team. So we don't take any of that into consideration when we're processing the applications, but the wellbeing team need to be aware of anything so that they can actually contact the student and make sure that we're able to support them appropriately into university.
That's great. Thank you very much, Helen.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Alice and I'm here at the University of Derby Hall of Residence. I'm visiting today to find out what life is like in halls for our students. So, Kirk, what happens in here?
Right, well, this is one of our common rooms. All of the halls of residence have a common room. Most of them will have a pool table. Some of the slightly larger ones will have a table tennis table. But it's just a place for students to come and relax, maybe have a few friends round. They might come in here, and if they want to make slightly more noise than they do in their actual flats, then they can do that in a common room. We also have halls events here. We have music nights, all sorts going on, and it's all provided for the students for free. Hi guys, how you going? Yeah, I've just got Alice here. She just wants to ask you a few questions about what it's like living in halls. Are you right to give her a bit of your time? Yeah, sure. Amazing. Cheers, Alice.
Thank you ever so much for letting me into your flat like this.
You're welcome.
So what's it like living in halls?
Honestly, really good. Can't lie. Mates for life, close to campus, close to city centre.
So for any students who might be living potentially close enough just to commute in and not try and live in Derby, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I had that option and I'm really glad I went with halls because you just get put with people straight away and you get to meet friends straight away and you're really part of the action.
And what would you say is the best thing about living in halls, all of you?
Friendly staff, Kirk's always smiley, always happy.
He's always that person that you can go to if anything's wrong.
Now, I've seen your kitchen, I've seen your communal spaces. Would any of you mind giving me a little look around your bedroom so we can see what the bedroom spaces look like?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to follow me? So this is a standard ensuite room at Peak. You got a small double bed, more than enough for your student. A desk big enough for your work, games, books, anything you need. Got a more than big enough wardrobe behind you and a ensuite with a shower and toilet.
Brilliant, it's really lovely. So that's our halls of residence, a safe, supportive and well-located place to live for students. Visit our website to find out more about all our different halls. Another benefit of coming to Derby, even if you've not applied yet, is that we can guarantee you a place in halls for your first year. To explain what's available and what you need to do, we're joined by Steve Ward, our Head of Accommodation Services. Hi, Steve.
Hi.
So it's late June. Some people at home will have heard of their friends already arranging their accommodation and getting that lined up. Should students be worried about finding a room at this stage?
It's not too late in June, so we do guarantee first year accommodation until the 31st of July. So no, it's not too late. We do advise that people, if they're coming to Derby, make that application as soon as possible, because we can't guarantee availability across all of our sites. But no, we still have rooms available until the 31st of July.
Great. And for those who might be joining us through clearing later on in August, is the process different for applying for halls at that stage in the year?
So the process moves slightly differently after clearing. So what happens after clearing is that you will be given your academic offer very quickly, and equally we will look to offer accommodation as soon as possible. So what usually happens there is that students get their academic offer. They have to wait probably 2 hours or so for our system to be able to pick them up. They make their application into halls at that point, and we will allocate people within a 48-hour period. That is subject to availability in clearing, because obviously, you know, some of our halls do fill up at that point. But you get very quick sort of responses at that point of the year.
Yeah. And is the process any different for students who are coming from overseas, who are international students?
They apply through the same portal that the UK students apply for. So no, it doesn't work any differently.
And are students able to choose their hall of residence as part of the application process?
Yes, so we do recommend that people, they have to put their top 3 choices. So we do recommend that people do their research before they come. If it's later on in the cycle, we have clearing open days that we advise people to come to. And equally, they can, if they're not able to come across to Derby, they can do their research on the university's website to see what is available at that point. So yeah, we do recommend that they put down what their first, second and third choices are there.
Yeah. And what can you advise if somebody's preferred room or hall type is unavailable? Will it be obvious before they apply, or will it only be when they hear back from your team?
So no, it will be obvious when they apply. So as rooms start to get full, halls start to get full, we will start to remove those from the option. So students will know at the point they apply what availability there is.
Yeah. And so finally, when we get to results day and all is revealed, is there anything that students need to do to secure their accommodation at that stage, or will it all happen as a matter of course for them?
So they need to make the application to halls. So accepting an academic offer at the university is not making the application to halls. So they do still need to go onto the university's website and make an application directly to halls, as they would at any point of the year, and then our team will deal with them from that point.
That's great, Steve. Thank you very much. Loads of information there. Thank you. Thanks. We're off now to another video about what you can expect at the University of Derby.
The University of Derby makes me feel empowered. They empowered me to break barriers and smash stereotypes.
Diverse. I feel like I'm part of a bigger community. And what I've learnt about my abilities and potential goes well beyond my degree.
Excitement. A transition that felt challenging to start, but led to excitement, built on my character and independence.
Passionate. A process of growth filled with fun, career opportunities, and beautiful people. A mixture of everything.
Independence. Derby has given me confidence and self-direction, allowing me to experience independence for the very first time.
Awakened to a world full of possibilities. Nothing is stopping us now.
I'm now joined by Dr. Jo Bishton, who is Head of Equity, Inclusion and Wellbeing here at the University of Derby. Hello, Jo.
Hello.
How are you today? You okay?
Very well, thank you.
Excellent. So just to start off with, welfare and inclusion are obviously really important aspects of life for anyone. So what can you tell me about how Derby helps students develop and grow during their time with us?
Okay, so belonging is really important for us at the university. We want our students to come and thrive and learn with us regardless of how they identify, what their gender expression is, or whatever their background is. So that's really important for us. And we do that in a number of ways. So the university participates in sector-specific charter marks so that we can audit ourselves to make sure that we're doing the right things and that we're always progressing and challenging ourselves to do the right things. And some of those a bit more widely, so some of those are more sort of employer recognition type schemes. So for instance, we're at university is Athena Swan Bronze. So that's a charter mark where we look at progression around gender, and we have the Race Equality Charter where we're members and we're just in the process of putting that submission in. We're also top 100 and a gold member of Stonewall, and that's around the LGBT plus communities. We're disability confident, and we're also the Armed Forces Covenant Gold as well. And so what that does, that demonstrates, so whilst these are charter marks where we look at what happens within our staff and student life cycles, they're a good demonstration externally that we take these areas of work very seriously, and that we are engaged in challenging ourselves to improve. But they're also you know, solid recognition of the work that we do as well by external bodies in that area.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And what do we do for students in order to make their experience of being on campus easier, would you say?
So we have accessible areas for students. So we have the Sunflower Scheme, for instance, which is a national sunflower scheme for people with hidden disabilities. So dignity and respect is very important to us, and we don't expect people to continually having to keep disclosing something about themselves that's hidden. So, which is really important for disability, for instance. So if you're using, I don't know, a lift and students are getting a little bit, you know, like, well, I don't think you've got a disability for using a lift, or it's taking you longer to do an activity and people can get frustrated. Well, actually having a sunflower on there is an external sort of symbol and sign to people to say, actually, I've got a hidden disability and that's why, but I don't need to disclose that to you. Our disclosure rates of students and staff is really high in terms of the hidden elements of people, and what that tells us is that people feel psychologically safe in order to be able to disclose something about themselves that isn't obvious. And what we do, we take that information and then we ensure that we're putting investment in the right place for training and activity, but also for our estate. So where we know that we've got increasing numbers of students, for instance, that are transgender, then we have gender neutral facilities across all campus sites. And also the investment that we then put into our staff development means that we're training our staff to also become socially and culturally aware about difference, because we openly celebrate difference at the university.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. I think it speaks to the staff, if I'm honest, that the disclosure rate is so high, because it's not easy to, you know, kind of disclose so many of these problems that many of us have. So
yeah, absolutely. And we know, because we do our annual report, we check our data, that we know where our disclosures are increasing, and that tells me that people are feeling psychologically safe to be able to do that, which is important.
Which is key, absolutely. That's fantastic. So you've kind of touched on it briefly, but what would you say we do to kind of acknowledge our diverse student population, you know, covering from a range of different faiths and backgrounds? How would you say we make them feel welcome?
So the university is in a really unique position because we have the Multi-Faith Centre, which is on the footprint of our university's main campus at Kedleston Road. And so that's, you know, we were the first university that had that relationship to have a multi-faith centre. And we work really closely. So the Multi-Faith Centre is where our chaplaincy is housed. And so the chaplains also have faith consultants, and the trustees are people from all sorts of different faith and belief backgrounds. So our relationship with the Multi-Faith Centre is both positive because it enables our students to have a place to go where they can access facilities, prayer facilities, quiet spaces, fair trade, but it's also the way that the university can connect to the community as well through the Multi-Faith Centre and for different faiths. As a staff network, we have a faith and belief network, and we do have a faith and belief month every May, which is something that we brought into the university ourselves. It's not a nationally recognised one, but it demonstrates that faith and belief is important to us, and students can attend the faith and belief network as well. And obviously we do lots of stuff that's faith and belief related that students participate in as well.
That's incredible. Thank you so much. Well, those are all the questions I have for you, so thank you so much.
Okay,
thank you for your time.
Okay.
Now we're going to take a look at what some of our international students say about studying at Derby.
Hi, mage naam hai Shan.
Ndewono, aha mbu Lawrence Ndupu.
Salam, mera naam Muhammad Ali hai.
Bună, numele meu este Xristina. Ni hao, 我是李乐.
Servus, mein Name ist Matthias.
Bună, numele meu este Ioana.
Hi, my name is Karen.
Cześć, mam na imię Natalia.
I came here, I didn't know anyone, no friends, didn't know what to expect.
Like the first day I was here, I sat down in the classroom and I was like, what did I get myself into? I don't understand nothing this man has said. The accents, they all sound like Harry Potter.
I was worrying about being by myself.
I was just worried about living. I mean, you know, just like the cost of living.
And how people will welcome me, how they will react.
But here in Derby, people are so friendly. They made us feel settled in very, very fast.
After 3 years of living here, I feel like Derby is kind of like my second home. It feels like they are just from my country or I'm from here.
It's a very, very friendly and very personal atmosphere. It's like a big family.
I would recommend the University of Derby because it's so easy to connect with people and it's so easy to get the support, to get the opportunities, and all you have to do is just want.
When you live in your home, you live in your parents, you really can learn how to face the world, and you really to learn how to become more independent, becoming more strong.
There's a team of professionals here who will welcome you. They will make you feel like you're in second home. So don't worry, just pack your bags and make a decision and you will enjoy it.
When it comes to life at university, there's a lot that goes into getting you into that classroom in the first place. We have teams to support you throughout your time with us, and we're now joined by Sarah Richardson, who is the Head of Student Services here at the University of Derby. Sarah, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good, good. So just to start off with, what services do we kind of offer with regards to student services to help our students get settled in?
Absolutely. So those first few weeks at university are absolutely crucial. So there's the key support that's available through my team. We recognise those first couple of weeks, students can often have feelings of loneliness and anxiety. Mm-hmm. My teams are absolutely there to help with that. We have some fantastic support as well through our Union of Students during those first couple of weeks, a whole range of events that students can get involved with. And my teams are very much involved with those as well to support. We've also got our welcome event that we have at the weekend when students first arrive with us. And again, my teams are there during that event just to help to, discuss that extra support that's available for students. So we very much all work together as a university to really welcome and support our students during those first couple of really critical weeks.
Nice. Okay, thank you. And of course, like the cost of living crisis is kind of a massive concern for people of all ages, but especially those for thinking of kind of changing their career at Derby. So, what have we got in place to help our international students kind of feel welcome and on track if they're coming to the country for the first time?
Absolutely. So there's a range of advice and guidance through my team. So again, we recognise that those money worries can really impact an individual's mental health. So again, we'd urge students to reach out and seek support through some of my counselling and mental health teams. We've also got qualified and professionally trained financial advisors within the team as well, who can provide advice and guidance around student funding, but also signpost to external supports as well. And then for our international students, particularly in those first couple of weeks, we recognise it's a huge period of change for them. So our accommodation team, if they're stopping in our accommodation, are enormously welcoming. They'll put welcome packs out for our students. We recognise they could be flying in at all hours of the night, so there'll be a welcome pack there ready to greet them. The Multi-Faith Centre also does some specific events for our international students during that welcome weekend. We have a fish and chip supper just to allow people to come together and just sort of start to make those connections and those friendships and start to feel welcome at Derby.
So what other sources are also available to students at the University of Derby?
Absolutely. So as we spoke about, there's those key teams within student services, but we work really closely with lots of other teams on the campus to really make that an entire support package for our students. So we're really fortunate at the University of Derby. We've got an on-site GP service, part medical, so students can go and access that key medical support at any time. We've also got our Multi-Faith Centre, which provides just a safe and accommodating space for students to explore faith or belief, or even if they have no faith or belief, it's just a quiet space for students just to reflect. And we work really closely with the Multi-Faith Centre in terms of lots of events. We've also got key activities that we support the Union of Students with to help our students continue to feel welcome and settled and supported during their studies. We focus, of course, on particular events and the life cycle of the student journey. So, as you mentioned earlier, we recognise at the moment that money at this time of the year is a huge concern for students just coming to university or throughout their studies. So we've got a range of events where we can help students talk about budgeting and how to save. We have events that are supported by some of our partners where students can come to talk about how to do some budgeting around meal planning and shopping and so on. And then we also have as well, of course, for those students that might be struggling, other supports in my team like our hardship fund, which students can access if they're finding things particularly difficult.
That's fantastic. So we've spoken about a number of services there. So how can students access it all?
Absolutely. So there's a number of ways. We really recommend that students just come along to our offices. They can sit down with one of our trained staff and talk about all of the different supports, and we can help a student to understand what's going to be the best pathway for them. They can telephone us, they can email us, or they can access further information, lots of self-help information through our web pages, and start their support journey from there.
Incredible. Well, Sarah, thank you so much
for
giving us an insight as to what support is out there. That's brilliant.
Thank you
for your time. Let's find out more about life at the University of Derby.
Hello from Markeaton Street, where the university's engineering courses are based. And we're here in the Motorsport workshop, joined by Andrew Menzies, lecturer in Motorsport Engineering. Hi, Andy. So can you start by telling us how hands-on is this course? What sort of things do students get up to here in the workshop?
Yeah, so during the first year, students will take part in a module called Vehicle Systems. As part of that module, they'll spend a lot of time within the workshop. We'll be doing different activities each week, where they'll be looking at a whole range of different things that obviously contribute towards motorsport, with the intention of that to set them up then for the rest of their degree. So some of those activities may involve like measuring engine components and looking at how they all fit together and work, or it may be like looking at how we set up a vehicle for track use. And sort of things like that. So then outside of the talk content for that first year module, the workshop's also used for labs to support other modules where students will need to come and like collect some information to feed into their assignments. And it's also the home of a lot of our extracurricular activities, such as like Formula Student and the Radical, where the students will also take part in that as well.
That's fantastic, thank you. And as an engineering course, how is data used to inform their understanding of motorsport engineering?
So for me, data plays a big part within motorsport and helping to teach the students. So data can be gathered a number of ways. We can collect it from our vehicles when we go out on circuit or during race weekends, also from our simulators. And the students can use those values to then factor into their assignments, factor into their which then factors into their project work. And that just means that they've got realistic values that they're using for their simulations and their research and sort of other aspects and things like that as well. By using that data that we capture, that gives them a very good understanding of what is going on. And as I say, they can then apply that to then looking at different case studies, looking at problems to solve, and just making sure that what they're doing is actually realistic.
Superb, thank you. So I imagine for students there's the obvious appeal of being part of the international race teams. So what experience do students get of that?
Yeah, so one of the things we've done over the last couple of years is we've been taking part in the Radical SR1 Cup. So as part of that, we've been taking our Radical to sort of different circuits throughout the country, and just getting students used to trackside operation of a vehicle from an engineering perspective. This has proven to be very successful with helping set students up for getting further work after they graduate, and we've had some very good results over those few years as well. We've been very lucky that we've had a number of students go on to some very good jobs, both within Formula One and within the World Endurance Championship, and they are literally travelling the world and being part of those international race teams.
That's some amazing experience. So thinking about careers for graduates, what have our previous students gone on to do in terms of roles and companies?
So it's quite wide-ranging, really, because whilst it is motorsport, it is also engineering. So we have some students going to motorsport. So we've had students go to pretty much all the F1 teams that currently exist within the F1 paddock now. We've got some in World Endurance Championship. We've got some in the British Touring Car Championship within the UK. We've got students who've gone to more roles within automotive as well. So a lot have gone to Jaguar Land Rover, Lotus cars, Aston Martin cars, places like Rolls-Royce cars. And then we also get students that decide not to follow the motorsport or the automotive route, and they'll end up at companies like JCB. That's been a big employer of ours over the years as well for students. So yeah, and it's quite a wide range of jobs. So some of them are looking at jobs where they'll be designing stuff. Other students have gone on to run wind tunnels. Some are trackside data engineers and things like that. So it is a very wide ranging sort of job list that the students go to afterwards.
That's brilliant, thank you. And so finally, why is Derby the place that they should study motorsport engineering?
I think Derby is made up of a few very, very good positives for students. We've got a lot of resources that the students can take advantage of. We get involved in a lot of activities outside of the core study of the programme as well. Derby, as well as the city, is a very nice place for people to be, and the staff are very supportive in making sure that the students actually manage to meet and exceed their sort of own expectations.
That's brilliant. So that's all my questions, Andy. Thank you ever so much. So let's head over to another part of the university for more of our open day live stream.
So we're joined now by one of our graduate marketing associates, Arvin Johal. Arvin, can you tell us about your journey with Derby? What did you study?
So I studied a Bachelor of Arts in Business Management. I studied for 3 years at the University of Derby and really enjoyed my time during those 3 years studying business at the University of Derby.
And what was it like being a student at Derby?
It was really, really good. I had my fingers in many different pies. So, you know, academically and non-academically as well. So, for example, in an academic sense, I was an academic representative for my degree, for my cohort, which consisted of me kind of gaining feedback from my cohort and my peers to see how, you know, everyone was finding university life as well as on the degree. And if there was any feedbacks or recommendations, I could take that forward to meetings with the higher ups and those in charge of kind of, you know, looking at the academic side of university. So really, really enjoyed that. I also was a marketing representative as well, so I worked on different marketing campaigns, and my beautiful face was shown on the university's marketing campaigns, really. So, yeah, really, really enjoyed my time at university from both academic point of view and non-academic as well.
So all those extracurricular activities that you did, do you recommend that to other students? Did you find that you got a lot from that?
Yeah, no, definitely. So for me, I was trying to kind of find my passion during university. I knew that going to university, the main thing for me, the key element was getting a degree, of course, and then I'll be graduating with all these, you know, amazing people who would have graduated at the same time as me. So I need to kind of find something unique to me and develop kind of a plethora of skills to kind of, you know, shape me as an individual and just kind of develop those transferable skills, really. So get involved in these extra activities. I would definitely recommend it to any prospective students and any current students as well, just to make the most of university and get involved with, you know, different activities and different departments just to develop those skills as well as, you know, develop them personally and both professionally as well. And then when they go into a job, it just, you know, hones their kind of CV and, you know, they can come out with, you know, many great benefits.
And throughout all this, did you feel a change in your confidence as a student? What do you think really helped with that?
Yeah, no, definitely. So going into university, believe it or not, I was a very shy, quiet individual, really, really reserved. I never really had the confidence to go out there and, you know, do public speaking, for example, or speak to other people. I was very, very shy. So kind of getting involved in these activities, I knew that I had to kind of push myself out there, be comfortable with being uncomfortable to kind of, you know, develop myself as an individual and kind of, you know, put myself out there and just embrace university, really.
So now you're working as a graduate associate in our marketing department. What was it that led you to do that?
So I studied business management, and as part of that, there were a range of different modules that I studied, including accounting and finance, marketing, HR, so many different avenues that I could go down. Marketing was the one that kind of stood out for me. I really, really enjoyed studying those modules, and I think the academics, as part of the degree, made my kind of journey, you know, really, really enjoyable, really passionate about the kind of degree as well. So they kind of instilled that marketing in me, really, really enjoyed it, really enjoyed, you know, all the different modules and the different assignments that I worked on as well. So that's why I kind of chose to work in the marketing department, really, as a graduate associate.
And how are you finding it all so far, the world of work?
Loving it. I'm loving it. So I've always been working. So since the age of 16, leaving my GCSEs, I've always been working part-time alongside my studies. I've always been a grafter as such. I've really enjoyed working, kind of developing those skills and meeting new people as well along my journey as well in different kind of organisations and departments. Within the university and external, really, as well. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. I've been in the job for about 2 months now, having an amazing time working on various different projects. I'm meeting, you know, like-minded people as well as, you know, different people across the institute as well. So yeah, really, really loving it.
Great. And finally, any last piece of advice for someone who's thinking of coming to study at Derby?
Yeah, one thing I would say is book on our open day. Visit an open day, visit the campus that you're going to be studying at, and, you know, just get a feel for the university. It might sound a little bit cringe for me to say, but when I went to the University of Derby for an open day, when I was thinking and considering going to university, I kind of walked into the atrium area and I kind of knew it was for me. Had a real nice buzz, real nice feel for it. I spoke to a lot of academics, a lot of members of staff at the university as well as current students, so student ambassadors. They gave me a good idea of, you know, what it's like to study at Derby. And, you know, my sister used to study at the University of Derby as well, so I kind of got that word of mouth, really, to kind of study at Derby. And, you know, my experience has been absolutely amazing. I really, really enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed, you know, life from, you know, a student's perspective as well as from like our working perspective as well, and just getting involved in extracurricular activities, really. So for me, I'd say just visit an open day and just speak to many different people. Very important decision to make, but I assure you, if you do choose the University of Derby, you'll be well looked after and you'll enjoy your time and experience here at the University of Derby.
That's great. Thanks, Arvin, and hopefully the start of a brilliant career for you.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Let's head to a video now and we'll be back with you shortly. Olivia Wilkinson joined us as a marketing, PR and advertising student and finished with a first-class degree. Now she's back as one of our marketing graduate associates. Hi, Liv.
Hi, Alice.
So can you tell us what you most enjoyed about being a student at Derby?
Yeah, so what I most enjoyed was that they had so many opportunities available for us, not just studying, but from the careers service. They offered us help all the way from first year to after we finished our degree, from CV help, interviews, applications. I was able to get involved with sports. They have so many societies on offer for us to join. And there's just so many opportunities in terms of work. So there's so much on offer.
And in terms of the teaching experience that you had, the academic side of things, what really stood out for you there?
Yeah, so the academics was on hand all the time to help us, not just at exam season or in lesson, they were always there to help and support us. That's it, really.
And you mentioned earlier about getting involved in sport. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so I joined the women's football club in year 2, and it was just a great opportunity. I was out of football. I finished football when I was about 16, so I was nervous coming back into the sport, but it was a great opportunity for me. They helped me develop and progress, and I'm now in a football team outside of uni as well, so it's brilliant.
That's great. Now, you also managed to find time for opportunities that gave you experience in professional working environments. How did that come about, and what did you do?
Yeah, so I joined the Student Employment Agency at the university. I became a social media assistant, and I was able to do that from year 2 till when I graduated. I also took part in the Driven scheme. I was a marketing intern for Apricus Markeaton, and then I was able to progress and become a marketing assistant from that scheme. It was a great opportunity to get paid whilst I studied, but also enhance my skills and application of my marketing degree.
And how did you feel that you developed as a student over the years that you were studying at Derby?
Yeah, I developed both personally and professionally. So during my degree, they gave me so many opportunities to not just work on assignments, but like real life case studies as well. And not just academically, it was, I don't know, it's just the amount of opportunities that they gave me was not just I got the degree, I got so much more from that, from my people skills to professional skills. It's brilliant.
And now you're working with us as a graduate associate in your first sort of proper job, as it were, post-graduation. What made you apply for that?
So obviously in year 3, you're worried about what you're going to go on to do, and I just saw this opportunity to develop into a position eventually of leadership, and it was amazing, the opportunity coming about, and I thought I've absolutely enjoyed studying at the university, working at the university, and it's just a great environment. So to be able to advance in marketing at the university, it was just a no-brainer for me.
And this graduate scheme should give you a really good foundation for your future career. Yeah. Where do you see yourself going after this phase?
So after this phase, I have already talked about wanting to stay at the university because they offer so many opportunities for you. So just hopefully working my way up in the university. But I know definitely this scheme allows for that because they're helping already. I'm getting involved in so many things, and it's just brilliant.
That's fantastic. Any piece of advice that you'd give to somebody thinking of coming to study at Derby?
One piece of advice. I'd say just get involved with absolutely everything you can. The university offers so many things, like I've already mentioned, from careers to sports societies. Just have a go at everything and you'll just develop as you go.
Brilliant. Thanks, Liv. That's been really useful.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Open Day live stream.
Hello, we're here at our Kedleston Road site today to find more about our social and community courses. We're joined by Simon Williams today, Head of Public Health and Social Care. Hi, Simon.
Hi there.
So, can you start by telling us about the courses within your area?
Yeah, so we have some really exciting courses within our area that are designed to help students to work with individuals and communities on their health and wellbeing journey. So the courses are designed to really upskill students to enable to engage in that practice.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And what sort of people are drawn to these courses? Are there any common values that they may have?
Yeah, so we find there's often shared values. A lot of people who come onto our courses may have experienced their own journey. They may have been involved in care systems, or they have been through different health situations. And so because of their experience, they want to make a difference and want to make a change. The other aspect that's really, really core is social justice. And so we find that a lot of our students are really passionate about that and making sure that everybody has equal opportunities in society.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And placements are a really key part of university and the experience ahead of their careers and within the industry itself. So how do we make that happen and what partnerships do we have?
So placements are a massive part of our courses. They're really essential for students to develop those skills that make them really ready for the workplace. We have placements with all sorts of different agencies. So voluntary agencies, local authority agencies, emergency services, faith groups, schools, all sorts. And that really enables students to have a real wide diversity of experiences with their placement. So they really get to sample what it's like to work in those different areas and with different groups of people.
Cool. And lastly, what would you say is the exciting part of the career within this sector?
So I think one of the most exciting things is to be able to journey alongside people in their health and wellbeing journey. That ability to be skilled up into the area and then journey with individuals and with communities and really be able to see them grow and be able to grasp those opportunities that they can take in life.
Amazing. Well, that's all my questions. Thank you, Simon. And we're going to head back to find out more about courses.
Welcome to Derby Theatre, part of the University of Derby. If you're a budding performer or a tech specialist, we have 2 courses on offer that can get you here. I'm joined by Phil Green and Xristina Penna, course leaders for their undergraduate theatre area. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So theatre is a broad creative industry and enables students to choose a specialism. Can you introduce your 2 courses?
Yeah. As you say, my name's Phil Green. I'm the programme leader for the Theatre Arts course. It's a very practical course. It's industry-led. There are basically 3 strands to it, which are the performance strand, which gives you all the performance skills you need. There's a theatre making strand, so you're able to make your own work. And then, I suppose most crucially, there's an employment strand, which is focused on getting you work in the industry. And it's the practice leads most of our work in this great building that we're in.
So the Technical Theatre and Performance Design, BA, which is starting in September 2025, similarly has similar strands to what Phil was saying. I would like to add that in the Technical Theatre and Performance Design, you'll be able to use the creative possibilities of the new technology, the emerging technologies that exist in theatre and performance, but also play around with the low-tech and more traditional technologies of theatre. There is also, of course, there's the employability and it's industry focused, and we work closely with theatre arts in the productions that they make. At the same time, there is a practice research strand where it leads the students at their final year to produce a performance, working also collaboratively with theatre arts. And in year 2, we are going to be partnering with a tech partner where the students will be able to get a brief, work towards that brief, and then can use this experience as part of their CV and employment.
Thank you. So we're here at the theatre in the city centre. How involved do students get with working in an active theatre?
Well, across the Theatre Arts course, there are 5 opportunities over the 3 years for public performances. And we tend to work on a professional model. So we do block weeks. That means you'll be working Monday to Friday from 9 o'clock till whatever time we need to finish, just like the professionals that come into the building do. Beyond that, there's opportunities within the theatre for students to find work. There's a work placement module in the 2nd year where they can choose one of the departments in the theatre and work with them. There's also the opportunity for paid work as well. So there are some students that work as ushers here. There are some that work as assistants on the youth theatres that run out of the building. There are even some that work as casual technicians and some that work on live performances doing captioning and what have you. So there's lots of opportunities to engage with this building and the opportunities that it affords.
And Xristina, what sort of facilities are there available to get to grips with?
Yeah, so the theatre has a few facilities. Currently, for example, there's one of our ex-graduates who works for the theatre arts production, and she's doing the lighting design using all the technology that's available in the theatre. People work as operators here, they learn on the equipment here, and at the same time, is an offer from the School of Arts, Markeaton Street and Britannia Mill. So there's the mixed reality lab where we're going to be experimenting with virtual reality and other and augmented reality and other emerging forms of that. The sound labs that we can use there, the radio equipment, and any other industry sort of related tech that is available there. So there is a lot of opportunity to play around and be creative.
Sounds amazing, thank you. So how do you advise students who aren't sure which of the two courses to choose?
I'd say come and see us. They can come to open days. If they can't make an open day, just drop us an email and we'll arrange for you to come and visit us, or you can speak to us over Teams or Zoom, and we'll talk to you about what your wishes are, what you're interested in, and we'll advise you on which course would be the best one for you. But definitely, come and see us and we'll take you around the building. We'll show you where your home will be for that 3 years. And actually, as you're walking around the building, you will meet former students who are now employed here as well.
And Xristina, whatever courses they do choose, why is Derby the place they should be studying at?
So in terms of the theatre, Derby Theatre is a learning theatre. It opens its doors to the students, and from day one, they're very much part of this professional environment. A lot of our graduates have told us that they felt so sure when working in the industry because they had experienced this environment here. At the same time, Derby is not a really big city. It's not a small city, so the students do create communities, and that's really important. There is also the union of students with all the societies that they can take part in. And of course, we're TEF Gold, so the Teaching Excellence Framework. We're one of the universities that are excellent in terms of our teaching, and this is also something that the students want to consider when coming.
Yeah, and we're also unique. It's absolutely unique what we've got here. There's lots of universities have got their own theatres, and very, very nice ones too. Thank you. And lots of universities have good relationships with their local professional theatres, but there's not one where the students and the course is actually housed in a professional producing theatre. So right from day one, you walk through that stage door, you sign in just like any other professional walking into the building. You walk down that corridor to the studio, which is your main teaching space, rubbing shoulders with the actors and the creatives that are in the building. And there's absolutely nothing else like it.
Talking about corridors, Phil, I just saw one of our ex-students coming out with a model box, and she's working for the youth theatre here as a designer. So that's the relationship we have with the theatre.
There's been some fantastic opportunities there. So lastly, what sorts of careers can they expect with a degree in theatre, and what do our students go on to do?
They go on to do all sorts of things. Quite often while they're here, they find jobs within the theatre that they didn't even know existed. So for example, in our marketing department over the last few years, there's been at least 3 graduates have worked there as marketing assistants. There are some that go on to work as producers, some that go on to work as assistants on community programmes. Others will move into applied theatre. There's those that go on and do some further education. So, for example, a typical thing would be to do a PGCE, a teacher training year. Some go and do very practical MAs in actor training as well, and often return here on our main stage. So a real myriad of opportunities there that they go into.
Yeah, from our past technical theatre and costume and set design, we have loads of graduates who work as lighting designers, sound designers, in the industry, sound 1, sound 2, etc. We have stage managers, designers for the stage, for the screen sometimes, and also costume designers. And we do get to communicate with our students, and they do say how important it was for them to be developing their skills in a working theatre, because that has really much helped them in the industry now. We also have recently one of the students has got a place as an artist in a so there is a lot of potential and opportunity for graduates with a theatre degree in working from communities to the industry, teaching, and a wider opportunities as well.
That's absolutely brilliant. Phil, Xristina, thank you ever so much. It's been great to hear from you today. We'll be right back.
Hello from One Friargate Square, home to our law, policing and social sciences programmes, one of which includes criminology. And I'm joined here today by Dr. Luke Vinter, who's the programme leader for criminology at the University of Derby. Hi, Luke.
Hi.
Talk to us about what a typical day in the life of a criminology student at Derby looks like, and talk to us about some of the facilities, such as the one we're in today, and how students get to use those.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of teaching, we have a little bit of a mixture of things, really. So the taught sessions are usually a bit of a fusion between front-led traditional lecturing and then critical discussions and then activities to sort of really get engrossed in the subject. Now, beyond that, we also then step outside the classroom, come to spaces like this, like the custody suite we're in now, sometimes the courtroom, and even then we've been out in Derby on crime and punishment tours, really with the underpinning message to bring things to life, everything we're learning, all that theory, what does that look like in the real world?
That's really exciting, and this facility is great for students to be able to learn in. Research is also a big part of what we do at the university, and particularly criminology. Talk to us a little bit about how that's related to the programme.
Yeah, absolutely. So research is really embedded in both how we teach and what we teach. So in terms of how we teach, all of our staff engage in a real diverse range of research in the real world. A lot of it really applied stuff. So prison-based research, looking at things like rehabilitation, sexual offending, things like that. We have work outside of prisons in places like Nigeria, looking at security and intelligence, and other things that people like psychopathy, things like that. So we've got a real variety of research, and that really informs how we teach as staff. That then feeds into what we teach. So we teach students to become competent researchers, starting off with basic skills, but then really moving on to how to do that applied research, how to work with organisations we bring in to do research projects that do a little bit of good in the world.
That's really exciting. So they get the opportunity to obviously learn those course-based skills, but also research as well. And talk to us about the different pathways for criminology. So there are lots of joint honours programmes available to students. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So criminology as a single honours subject is really diverse and really interesting in of itself. It's a bit of like a Frankenstein subject made up of psychology, criminal justice, sociology, law, philosophy. And so there's a little bit of something for everybody in that anyway. But if you are feeling maybe a little bit conflicted about what you want to do, or you're interested in just having a bit more of a varied learning experience, we do have quite a few joint honours programmes people can do. So criminology with other subjects. That could be subjects that are really closely related to criminology, like law and psychology, or you could really mix it up and do things like criminology with business management, criminology with media. We have a new amalgamated course that looks like artificial intelligence in criminology as well. So a real variety of stuff.
Really exciting, lots for people to kind of get interested in and stuck into. Talk to us then about when students finish here, what careers would students typically go on to do? What's available for them when they finish their studies?
Yeah, so again, a real varied range of opportunities out there for criminology graduates. We have our more traditional criminology related careers people go into, working with people who have engaged or been affected by crime. So working in the police, courts, probation, prisons, those kinds of sectors. And even within those, there's a lot of roles. Taking prisons as one example, yes, you could go in and be a prison officer, but you could also work in terms of rehabilitation, delivering treatment programs, working on increasing safety in the prisons and well-being. There's a real range in there. Beyond that, then, you can step out of those traditional roles and look at working in local, national, international governments, working in the third sector, or charity sector, tackling social issues and social harms, or even taking on a research role in academia or beyond in businesses and that kind of thing.
So a lot of choice and a lot of scope for graduates when they finish here at Derby. And why would you recommend students choose Derby as a first choice for studying criminology?
Yeah, I mean, going back to what I said about research, we have these practitioners or researchers who deliver that program. It can really bring everything to life, give you that applied experience, bringing in guest lecturers from the field to, again, bring those subjects to life. Beyond that, then, one of the real draws of our course is that we have, in the third year, a hell of a lot of optionality. So people can choose exactly what they want that to look like, what they want to specialise in. If they're particularly interested in murder or substance misuse, they can weave that in to how their sort of studies look, really. And beyond that, if nothing else, we are really highly rated in terms of student satisfaction and teaching quality.
Great. Thank you so much, Luke. You've given us a great overview of criminology at the University of Derby. Back to you.
Welcome back to the Open Day live stream. And we're still at Derby Theatre, and I'm joined by Caroline Barth, the theatre's Creative Learning Director. Hi, Caroline.
Hi.
So we're here in the city centre. Can you tell us what the connection is between the theatre and the university?
Yeah, absolutely. So the building is actually owned by the university, but we're also an independent charity and professional producing theatre. So the university has its own learning theatre, which is nationally and internationally unique. There's lots of theatres that have connections, but the fact that students are basically studying in our building, in a working theatre, giving them hands-on experience every day is astonishing. And that's really only the start of it, because there's so many more opportunities, whether you're studying here or not. You can come and see shows, take part in the activities that we do, the learning activities, and particularly if you're interested in connecting and working with young people or communities, there's a load of opportunities for you here.
That's incredible. Thanks, Caroline. So thinking about the opportunities students may be looking for alongside their studies, are there any chances to get part-time work?
Yeah, absolutely. We're a working theatre, as you've already said. So you can get bar work, front of house work, but we have a unique opportunity as well for students studying theatre, particularly, to come and interview to help us on our youth theatres. So we've got 10 different groups that run every night of the week. We have a deaf youth theatre because Derby has a particularly large deaf population. So that's run by a deaf leader and assistant. But we have opportunities for you to come and get paid to do the work that you love, working alongside, using theatre, using those skills to develop young people's confidence and communication. So those are just a few of the jobs. You can also, if you're interested in the technical side of theatre, get on as a casual technician with us too.
That's amazing. Thank you, Caroline. So we've heard about the theatre courses today already that are taught at Derby, but could you tell us how the theatre is relevant to all students, regardless of what they're studying?
Yeah, I mean, we work with a lot of different departments. So education, where you have students that come here, they're thinking of working with young people through their education, childhood studies, for example. We do a lot of work with early years. So again, links with those different departments. We do work with students who've got live briefs. So some students, marketing, for example, we might have a challenge that we say, great, can you come over here and help us understand, do some market research for us? So they're working, again, on real live challenges and opportunities and getting us the answers through their wonderful research. So everything from that to also, as we said, coming and seeing shows here and taking part in them. We have lots of shows where we have young people and community company as well as the professional actors. So you get, it's just sheer fun and a great sort of family to be part of as well. We're really sort of welcoming and opening to everyone, but our students are particularly welcome here.
That's brilliant. Thank you. And so finally, for anyone interested in finding out more about the theatre and what happens here, what should they do next?
Well, as you said, we're right in the city centre, so come and see us. It'd be lovely to have you through the doors and we can get you tickets for shows. On our website as well, there's myself and all of the other staff here, so you can always drop us an email because sometimes we've got insights that others might not have at the university, and being, working in here day in, day out with our students who do volunteering and all sorts with us, we can give you the lowdown and tell you all about it.
That's brilliant. That's perfect. Thank you so much, Caroline, and thank you for joining us today and sharing that.
No problem.
So that's all here from the Derby Theatre. Let's see what else is going on today.
Hi, Joe. Hi. So you're not just a member of staff here at Derby, but also mum to an 18-year-old who's going through this process. How's it been for you as a parent?
It's been quite a mixture of emotions, actually. I'm obviously, very excited and proud of what he's, going to go on to achieve and choosing a university. But I'm also quite anxious, quite apprehensive. Part of me wants to just keep him at home forever. But of course, he needs to go out into the big wide world, and I guess this is the next step. So yeah, lots of emotions, but it's been good. I've enjoyed the experience.
And obviously working in a university, you know a lot about how they operate. But have you discovered things through this process that you're going through now that you didn't know before about applying to university?
I've learned a lot more about the actual UCAS application. So actually being on the other side of it has been quite interesting to see. And obviously understanding the terminology and what certain things mean, the key deadlines, the important dates that we need to be aware of, those sorts of things. So and all of that information is out there, so it's really useful to do your research beforehand and have a look at when those important dates are that they shouldn't miss, that kind of thing. So yeah.
We're now about to enter the clearing period. What should parents do if they've got a child who wants to go to university but hasn't found a place yet?
I think it's about just keeping calm and again, providing that reassurance. It's not too late to apply. There's still plenty of time to find a university. Again, preparation is really important. So, do your research beforehand. Definitely before results day. You don't want that last minute panic on results day. But yeah, take your time beforehand. Have a look at other universities. Have a look at what they're offering in clearing and make some notes so that on results day you feel really prepared and ready to make some phone calls.
And is making an application through clearing different to an application somebody might have done perhaps earlier in the year?
Yes and no. In some ways it is. So through clearing, you'll be contacting the university straight away. So you have a conversation first with the admissions team at the university. And then once you've got an offer, you'll then need to go onto the UCAS website and refer yourself or put forward your application that way. So in some ways it's a bit quicker, but pretty much the similar sorts of things.
And if you're a parent with a child who isn't sure about university and haven't been able to decide either way, what can parents do in that situation?
It's still important to take the time to go and visit a university. There's no better way really than actually visiting in person. So around clearing time, universities tend to open their doors and have an open house. So, do go and make the time to go and visit the city, go and visit the campus, have a look around the accommodation. So maybe, sort of clear your diaries really around the few days after results day. So you've got time to go and visit places. That'd be a good thing to do.
And how involved do you think parents should be in this whole process?
I think they should be involved. It's been a very enjoyable experience and you get to know your son or daughter quite well. Reading their personal statement can give you a real insight into what their hopes and ambitions are, and that's really nice to see. But also, back off a little bit. It's their decision. They need to make their own decisions in life. So you've got to find that right balance between being involved but not taking over. It's really important to make it their decision.
And is there any more general advice you've got for parents supporting their child through this process?
Well, something I've been trying to do over the last few months is making sure that my son knows how to prepare a meal, right from thinking about what do I need to go and buy, how do I prepare it, so that he can feed himself when he's away at uni. Managing money is another good thing as well. So, learning to live on a budget and how to spread your money out over the weeks. And just general life skills, making sure he knows how to use the washing machine and, making his bed, that kind of stuff. So just, making sure that he's got all those skills he needs to be a grown-up.
Yeah. And is there anything that children should be asking their parents for help with?
Well, those kinds of things would be really good things to ask a parent about. But, pick our brains, ask us about, what it's like to live in different cities, or ask us what it's like to, how we got to where we are in our working lives. So, use us as another source of information. That'd be useful.
That's great. Thank you very much, Jo, and good luck to you both with the process.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Let's head to a video now, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Welcome back. We've been watching out for your questions this morning, and now we're going to be answering them for you. We've just got time to run through a few of the questions we've received so far, and we'll reply to everybody else later on today. So first up, are there options to study abroad? Yes. Many of our courses have the possibility of travel or study overseas. You may be able to get some funding through the UK government's Turing scheme. Next question, are the gym facilities free? That's a good question. So there's a well-equipped gym at our sports centre, which has a low monthly cost, and it's open 7 days a week. Next question, what are the links like with local employers? All of our subjects have links to industry, with work placements and projects for real businesses and organisations. We have career fairs every year, where you can meet some of these employers and start to build links for your future employment. Next question, how do we secure halls? So once you've firmed your offer with us, it's just a small deposit. You don't need to put down several months of rent up front, as can be the case with many private accommodations. Next up, do we have accommodation for families? That would need to be arranged privately, but we have our DASH accredited landlord scheme who can help you with this. And next question, what career support is available? So our careers employment service is your first port of call, and you can get as much careers experience as you have time for. Everything from CV writing and interview prep to a year out on placement. Your course will have industry links and real-world industry-related projects for you too. Okay, and final question, how often will we attend classes? So this would vary by course, but this is why we recommend living close to campus in Derby, as can easily be within reach of classes. And that's it. A huge thank you to all of the students and staff who have been a part of our event today, and to all of you joining us for our Open Day livestream. Today's Open Day is continuing for several more hours on campus, so if you're on your way, we'll see you soon. If you've liked what you've seen and want to come and visit, you can keep an eye out for upcoming events on our website. But if you're joining us from overseas or can't make it in person, our virtual tour is available whenever you need it, with more to see about our courses, city, and accommodation on our website. And from all of us here, it's a goodbye for now.
Hi, I love working at Derby because I like being part of the college student centre teams. It's great to be able to support our students all the way through from enrolment to graduation. We get a lot of students in the college student centres that may be struggling, and it's fantastic when we've been able to help and support them to achieve their degree and see them walk across the stage during graduation.
As someone who works with international students from all around the world, I love the University of Derby because it presents an opportunity for students from over 50 countries to come and study with us. It's such a melting pot of different nationalities.
What I love about the University of Derby is our relationship with our partner organisations, allowing excellent placement opportunities. It means our students can be the innovators and future leaders in our communities.
I love coming to work at the University of Derby to be part of a team of staff that are dedicated and committed to make sure our students can flourish and grow while they learn here. It's great to support our students be their best selves and be part of their onward learning journey.
I love how the university prioritises its students and tailors the resources towards our needs. I love how my lecturers and tutors are so supportive and help me achieve my potential as a student.
I love the University of Derby because it gives so many opportunities for everybody to develop their skills. Working in the library skills team, I get to see that every day, and it's brilliant.
What I love about the University of Derby is the community feel. I work at the Halls of Residence, and it's such a great place for the students to come and stay and meet other people. And I think it really represents the university as a whole, which is a real lovely family environment.
What I love about working at the University of Derby is I get to engage with students from enrolment straight through, see their progression to the end of their studies, and then it all ends with graduation and how we can celebrate with them on their special day.
Some of the main reasons why I love working at University of Derby, as it's a fantastic place to work. It gives amazing opportunity for students and staff.
I love Derby because we offer amazing opportunities to students, from work experience to part-time jobs to graduate careers.
I love the University of Derby due to the positive impact it has on the student experience and their academic journeys. Here at the Union of Students, we have the pleasure of working with the university to deliver a variety of different activities, whether that be supporting the student voice, delivering events and activities such as freshers, or providing clubs and societies for those students looking to socialise. It's a pleasure to work with the university on all the things we do.
I love working at the University of Derby Library because I remember what it was like to be a student. I remember the array of emotions from pure joy to pure panic. And I remember the consistency of the library being there for me. So I really love the fact that I now get to do that for students.
There are many different reasons as to why I love the University of Derby, but the main one for me is the different opportunities that you can seize. So being an alumni of the university and an ex-student, I got involved with becoming a student ambassador, a content creator, and an academic representative. I now look forward to making a positive impact in the graduate scheme as an associate in marketing.
What I love about the University of Derby is the support for diversity and communal living. As an international student, I believe one of our dreams when migrating to a new country is to settle in smoothly and seamlessly and get comfortable as fast as we can. The University of Derby is a great place to be because it supports diversity and communal living, which in the long run not only helps with personal development, but also professional growth, as this is what I am experiencing.
The thing I love most about the University of Derby is teaching. When teaching, I can be myself, and by creating a fun and exciting environment for students, I allow them to become the best versions of themselves.
What I love about Derby is that the university has a really strong commitment to ensuring that our students are ready for the workplace and to make sure that when they leave university, they're ready to go straight into graduate level employment.
What I love about Derby is that it's a community that's big enough to contain a rich diversity of people from a whole range of traditions and backgrounds and perspectives, enabling all sorts of stimulating ideas and initiatives to emerge. But it's a community that's small enough so that you feel you can find a place within it and a real sense of belonging. That's what I love about Derby.
I love Derby. As a staff member and as a student, I had the opportunity to explore my passion, and that's why Derby's brilliant.